In the last video, we looked at iteration and saw why it's a process that works. In this video, we're just going to apply it in a bunch of different problems so you can practice doing it. Let's have a look. All right, so here's a typical sort of exam question on iteration. You see it's quite long. So I've got a function, f of x equals x cubed minus 4x plus 1. This is not a cubic with any nice solutions, by the way. You can try, but they're all a little bit messy. So first question, show that the solution to f of x equals 0, a solution exists in the interval 0 to 0.3. Okay, so we know how to do this. We'll get on to that in a second. We'll read through the whole thing first. Next, show that x cubed minus 4x plus 1 equals 0 rearranges to x equals x cubed plus 1 over 4. Part C, use the iterative formula, that one there, with x equals 0, x0 equals 0 to find x1, 2, 3, and 4, so the first four approximations. And finally, f of x equals 0 has a root between 1.8 and 1.9, and show the formula does not work when x0 is 1.9. Okay, so let's work through these. So the first one, part A, we know that all we need to do is show a sign change. So what I'm doing is I'm saying f of 0, well, if I sub 0 into my formula, I just get 1. And if I sub 0.3 into my formula, so I was calculating 0.3 cubed minus 4 times 0.3 plus 1, I get minus 0.173. So this is what we looked at a couple of videos back. So a sign change indicates a root, indicates a root in the interval 0 to 0.3. Okay, next, part B, show that x cubed minus 4x plus 1 equals 0 rearranges to that. Well, this is a pretty easy one. Sometimes these can be challenging, but this one, I think it's fairly clear that all we need to do is add 4x to both sides, divide both sides by 4, x cubed plus 1 over 4 equals x. Doesn't matter if you got the left, right, the wrong way around. And there it is. Part C, use the iterative formula. And that's basically just the rearrangement we got, just with some sub n plus 1s and sub n's in there. And they've told us what x0 is, and we need to figure out what the next few terms are. And these should be better and better approximations to the solution, which, by the way, we know exists between 0 and 0.3. So x1 is x0, which was 0, plus 1 over 4. That is 1/4, or 0.25. Okay, a little bit of exam technique here. To get method marks, you do want to show that you're subbing it into the formula for at least one of them. After that, you don't need to. So after this point, I'm just going to do it all on the calculator. So that just involves taking your first answer and then just using the formula, which was x cubed, so answer cubed plus 1 over 4. And just saying, okay, well, here's the first answer, I've got that. Here's my next answer. Let's, what did they say? They said to 4 decimal places, so 0.2539. And after that, I'll just be using my calculator, 0.2539. Next one, I'm just subbing it again, pressing equals, and I get 0.2541. And my last approximation, you can see it's not really changing very much now, is 0.2541. So it didn't actually change to 4 decimal places. So we can be pretty sure that that's very close to the solution. Okay, in part D, f of x equals 0 has a root between 1.8 and 1.9. Show that the formula above does not work with x0 equals 1.9. So, okay, well, let's just try. So x1 would be 1.9 cubed plus 1 over 4. So what's that? 1.9 cubed plus 1 over 4 is 1.96 475. I can already see something dodgy happening because we're now further away. I know the root is somewhere between 1.8 and 1.9, we're further away. Let's just check that that continues to be the case. So I'll take my answer cubed plus 1 over 4, and it's even further away. One more just for good luck. We're now at 2.7211 and so on. And actually, if I go through x4, 5, 6, 7, okay, x7 is already like 5.3 times 10 to the 11. So this is getting very big very quickly. So the key term here is that it is divergent. So what I'd say is starting with x0 equals 1.9 leads to a divergent sequence, which means we are not converging to an answer. Leads to our divergent sequence, and that's all we need to say. It's divergent, so it's not zooming in on an answer. In practice, what's happening is that our staircase is just bouncing away up to infinity and not getting stuck between the lines. Okay, let's have a look at this one here. A sketch of y equals sine x minus x cubed plus x is drawn, so here it is. Show that a stationary point exists in the interval 0.7 to 0.8. So that stationary point is here, and that's where the derivative is 0. So let's find an expression for the derivative. F dash of x, well, derivative of sine x is cos x, derivative of x cubed is 3x squared, derivative of x is 1. And let's see, oh, so the stationary point should be when that's 0. So what is the derivative at 0.7? Well, at 0.7, I do cos 0.7 minus 3 times 0.7 squared plus 1. And what do I get? I get 0.295, which is positive. And what about at 0.8? Well, at 0.8, if I sub 0.8 into my derivative, I get minus 0.223. So then we just say what we always say. So the sign change indicates a stationary point. And the reason why it does is that it moved from positive to negative, and if it moves from positive to negative, it must have gone through 0 at some point, and that's the stationary point. So the stationary point exists in the interval 0.7 to 0.8. Okay, let's have a look at part B. Given that the x-coordinate of the stationary point is alpha, show that alpha satisfies that equation. Well, remember that our stationary point was found by solving the equation cos x minus 3x squared plus 1 equals 0. So what connection does that have to this? Well, I can see that the kind of main idea here is that it's a square root of something, which probably means that I isolated x squared and then took the square root at the end. So I'm going to isolate the x squared part. So I get cos x plus 1 is 3x squared. If I divide through by 3, I get cos x plus 1 over 3. And yeah, that's working, because now I can see if I take the square root of both sides, I do indeed get the square root of cos x plus 1 over 3. So we've now got that. We've now done part B. Okay, part C is use an iterative formula with x0 equals 1 to find alpha to 3 significant figures. So if x0 is 1, and then we're just going to show the first one subbing in, so we take the square root of cos of 1 plus 1 over 3, what do we get? Well, let's just work it out. And remember, I'll just type in 1 as my first thing, and then I'll do the square root of cos of my answer plus 1 over 3. Well, my next thing, answer, not thing, is 0.7165. And the next ones I just need to show my answers. So I just click equals and I get 0.7647. And okay, there's a little bit of a detail here, which is it says I want an answer to 3 significant figures. So I'm just going to keep going until it's not even changing to 4 significant figures. If it's not changing to 4 significant figures, I can be pretty sure that I found it to 3 significant figures. So we're getting pretty close. x5 is 0.7585. We'll keep going here. This is why you don't want to key it in every time, because that would take ages. I just click equals each time to get my next answer. 0.7585. Okay, it seems to have settled on that. And what you might want to do is just press equals equals equals. Okay, there's a bit of an interesting one here, because actually the thing it's settling on, I was rounding when I wrote that, but the thing it's settling on, like if I press it loads of times, I end up, in this case, I think this was like x10 or something, is actually 0.75848126, that sort of thing. So actually, to 3 significant figures, the answer is 0.758. If I just looked at this, I might have been tempted to round up. So that's our answer to 3 significant figures. Okay, that is all on iteration. Hope that's been useful. I'll see you in the next video where we're going to look at Newton-Raphson. See you there.